What's up, people? I'm Shaggy the Opinionated Hippie, and this is part 9 in my reviewing and ranking Yes's live albums. Just did their studio albums, had only ever heard 3 of their live albums. Actually 4, I have that Progeny box set, so actually 10. But that kind of doesn't count. I never heard most of them. So I was like, I'm just going to go through in order they were released, do all of them, review them, rank them, because I love to rank stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rank the songs in the order of how well I like them compared to their studio versions. So like, I might absolutely love Close to the Edge, but if they don't really do much different than just perform it in a live studio, in the live version, it's not going to be ranked high, not because of the song, but because of what they do with it live. Makes sense? Overall, my opinion of this album is this is one I checked out of Yes. The Union album, the Union tour. I thought the whole, even back then, right, when I was a college kid, I was like, the whole idea of like Howe and Rabin, Kay and Wakeman, Bruford and White, like when, during like Owner of a Lonely Heart, they dropped that in, you know, like it was like midway through the first part of the show, completely felt out of place. Howe leaves the stage. I don't even think Howe was on the stage for Owner of a Lonely Heart. Later when they play Awaken, Rabin's not even in the stage for like the first maybe third of Awaken. It's just little things like that just felt like, it just felt silly. Didn't feel like a band. It felt like this weird Vegas show. And I've never, ever come around to this album, this tour, the idea of the tour. And listening to this album, which I had never listened to before, there's a lot of stuff on here. Like all the stuff I don't kind of like about live Yes shows, it's all here on this one album. And yeah, also, I'm not the biggest Trevor Rabin fan as far as his guitar playing goes. I think his playing on Hold On is always fantastic. I love that song. And I think he brought some, I think his Starship Troopers in his era were pretty good. But here he's bringing a really kind of virtuoso / shred rock energy to songs where it stands out in a way that it shouldn't. And I'm not the biggest fan. So going into it, laying my cards on the table, this was the tour that turned me off to them. This was the tour that, you know, I kind of stopped following Yes after this. This was the tour that I just have never really found to be all that enjoyable. And that's not going to change now that I've listened to it. So if you don't like your favorite band to be criticized, don't watch this video. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be honest about this is my reason. This is my personal opinion, but just so you know that. But anyways, 13 songs. I'm going to rank them from 13 to 1. I'll put the list up at the end. Then I'll show you where this album falls among the other ones I've already done, the ones they released prior to this point. This came out in 2011. It's also a DVD of this. That DVD is on YouTube. You can go watch it right now. Watch this video, then go watch it, and then tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm right. You know how things work. Number 13, Amazing Grace. I think it's a beautiful song. I don't want to hear anybody ever do it, ever, anywhere. Yeah, let's let kids sing Amazing Grace. Sing it at church. Sing it in spiritual things. Yes, it is Squire on bass. Anderson sings in this one. That's a nice touch. On the, 9012 Live, there's an Amazing Grace. Anderson doesn't sing. I think it's just Squire. Either way, I don't care. I don't want it. It's a waste of my time. My personal preference. Number 12, Solly's Beard. We get another Solly's Beard, also on 9012 Live, the solos. This is the Rabin solo. He's a great guitar player. How he chooses to play his guitar, how he chooses to demonstrate those skills, the shredding that he chooses to do, that's not in my wheelhouse. That's not what I like. And not only am I not won over by this fact, but I'm actually turned off by this fact, and actually am surprised that this is not number 13 instead of number 12. I'm going to switch these right now. I'm calling an audible. Again, if you don't know what an audible is, comment. We'll go through this discussion again. This is number 13. Amazing Grace is 12, because they drop a dueling banjos jam in here. And I don't need a dueling banjos jam in a Yes show. It's silly. It's no. I'm a no on this. Sorry, but I'm a no. Number 11, Wakeman solo. He's a great keyboardist. I don't want a solo spot. I'm not interested in it. It doesn't do anything for me. Number 10, Rhythm of Love. Some really nice harmonies. They throw Wakeman a bone at the end and they give him a solo, but it cannot save the disaster that is this song. It's definitely not as bad as when they were opening with this on the big Generator tour and they had all this crazy pre-recorded electronic noise and other stuff to go into it. This is better. It was the second song of the show. We're not getting all that crazy intro stuff, but it's just not a very good song. Yeah, just not a big fan. Number 9, Saving My Heart. I like the album version of this song. It's this really almost low-key type of funky, slightly reggae-ish, kind of cheesy, but it works. I think a lot of that low-key funkiness is a little bit lost in this version, and that's probably because live it just sounds kind of cluttered and kind of a little too much. And there are still some good moments. I still think it's a song that maybe could be better live, but I just don't think this rendition does it for me, or this version of it. But I do like the studio version, and I prefer the studio version. Number 8 is Roundabout. And you think it would be higher because we get the full Roundabout. We get the acoustic guitar intro by Howe. We get the middle proggy section. We go back into the middle acoustic part. We get solos at the end that get kind of weird. But there just seems to be way too much going on. Rabin is adding these parts that I just don't think fit. I think the middle proggy section, which I keep complaining about that they leave off, like, I wish they had left it off here, because it just doesn't work for me. It sounds too cluttered. It just sounds like it's rushed, and like maybe they don't want to play it and they're rushing through it, and it just seems not focused, and I didn't enjoy it. And so I'm going to give them props because we get the intro, we get the proggy middle section, we get everything like that, but there's just way too much going on. I mean, I think this huge band and everybody's there. It doesn't work. There is a song in which everybody's presence works later on this list. This one, for me, it doesn't. Number 7, The Clap / Mood for a Day. This is a Steve Howe. He does a bunch of songs. Again, this is not my favorite part of Yes shows, even when Steve Howe is doing it. At this point in time, I've heard enough claps. I've heard enough Mood for a Days. I don't need it. I wish Yes didn't do this solo thing. This is the one that I enjoy far more than any other because I think Howe is a fantastic guitar player. But if I can eliminate a Wakeman solo and a Rabin solo in order to get rid of and have to sacrifice a Steve Howe solo, like acoustic piece, I'm willing to do that. So I know not everybody is, but I'm willing to. Especially when they're all on one album. Ugh. All right, number 6, I've Seen All Good People. It gets props for having not the silent break between Your Move and All Good People. We get the straight into it. Props for that. Good energy. Always a good song live. Yeah. Number 5, Heart of the Sunrise. Squire, of course, shows why he's one of the best players ever in his intro. And this is the song we're having. I would say the keyboardists jump up at me more than anybody. Having Kay and Wakeman with like different keyboard sounds in that crazy middle section when we're going through all these different sort of psychedelic weird changes and proggy stuff, it works on this song. This huge size band with all the and all these different parts, it works. This arrangement is fantastic. I like this. They're not really doing much different with the song other than Kay gets this, Wakeman gets this, Rabin gets this, Howe gets this, other than that kind of thing. But that kind of thing is really adding to the song. And I think this is a pretty good Heart of the Sunrise. Like, this is something that they did really well. So yeah, pretty much straightforward version. You know, Squire is a little playful in his bass intro as always. But I think this is one where having this size band actually pays off. Number 4, Make It Easy into Owner of a Lonely Heart. It's the Make It Easy that makes it up here. I love Make It Easy. Make It Easy. I keep mispronouncing that in my videos. I think I've called it Make It Early. I think I've called it Make It Known, which is a Foxygen song. But Make It Easy, if my understanding, was a song from Cinema, which was going to be Chris Squire, White K band, but then they brought in, with Rabin, but they brought in Anderson and it just became Yes. It's got great prog energy. It's an awesome opener to Owner of a Lonely Heart. It is here. These two songs are here on this list because of Make It Easy, though I really do like the cheesy ending to Owner of a Lonely Heart. You make it happen. Just John Anderson gets to like do this and shake his arms as he does and rally the audience into a little frenzy. It's just fun stuff. We get we get a Rick Wakeman solo. If you watch the video, you get to see that it's a keytar solo. Wakeman emerges from behind the keys. Like, you don't even know it till the solo starts because then the spotlight hits him. Then he's on a guitar solo. He's being a little rock action. Yeah, that's some good cheese for you right there. Great as much of that cheese. I want Wakeman on guitar far more often. Yeah, that was actually pretty good. That was kind of fun. Silly, upbeat, guitar. That's fun. Number 3, Whitefish. We got Whitefish, pretty much this version of Whitefish, with going into Tempest Fugit on 9012 Live, the solos. I think that version's better. There's some absolutely fantastic stuff on here. Squire is very playful. He's in a good mood for this whole thing. This was at Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View, California, where they also recorded, I think, their Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe live album and that video. So they obviously like this place. So they're in a good mood throughout the entire show. And the Whitefish, it's a good Whitefish. I just think the one on 9012 Live, the solos is a little better. And just the energy's better. I love the sound of the 84 band. But yeah, really nice Whitefish. Number 2, and I went back and forth on 1 and 2 for a while, but I decided to go with this order. Number 2 is Awaken. They absolutely nail the middle section of Awaken. It does start off a little more active and high volume than the album version, which they managed to do. I think there's that word box set. I think that live version is kind of at the same level of the album version, which is fantastic. It's a little more upbeat and going on, but they almost managed to like ride it out long enough where the energy like subdues and goes down and gets some more mellower as it goes on. And it just kind of keeps going on. And there's like guitar parts just kind of popping up in there and things are getting really quiet and it's getting like cool and it's going down. And then finally Howe comes in with his little guitar parts and we're into like the second half of the song. But that middle bring it down section, this band nails it. Like, they nail it. Like, Rabin is not on stage for like, I think the first 3, 4, 5 minutes of the song. And then he emerges and he's all of a sudden adding stuff in. And he's here for this part. It's fantastic. Like, they really, really nail this. I don't think it's the best Awaken that's been released live, but they managed to pull something out here. And then number 1 is almost always is Yours Is No Disgrace. Howe's solo is fantastic. He gets a chance to shred, but then after Howe does his middle breakdown part, Rabin jumps in. And Trevor gets his just straight up like, I'm just going to shred solo. White goes off on drums. There's definitely a more metal, like we get a little more aggressive because of Trevor Rabin's energy. We get some eruption, finger tapping action by him. I don't think it necessarily all works. I would be okay if they just doubled Howe's solo and let him go for longer. I don't think the build up back into like the song proper is as epic as those build ups and from like 72 and 73. But it's good. It's enjoyable. Yours Is No Disgrace always works. So yeah, it's pretty close up with Awaken. Both of these songs are pretty much doing what they always do live, but it's just the full band stuff works with these two songs. Having all these members, having all these people, I think it works. But yeah, those are what the 8 solos look like, the 13 songs. I just did a Frank Zappa solos video, and then I did this because I have time. I'm confusing solos with songs. That's what the songs look like right there in order. Question is, where would I rank this album among the others that have already been released or that I've been reviewing up to this point in 2011? It's last. The second CD on this is, despite having Awaken, which is fantastic, the second CD is Solly's Beard, Saving My Heart, which I like the studio version better. We get Whitefish, which is good, but then we get Amazing Grace, which I don't need. Then we get Rick Wakeman solo. Then we get Awaken, which is fantastic. And then we get Roundabout. So really, we got Awaken and Whitefish. Otherwise, the second CD for me is just kind of rough. Kind of rough. But that's what I got. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Let me know what your thoughts on this album. That guy who's getting back into Yes, who's like kind of going along with me. Let me know if you have a different opinion on this than I do. I am interested. Always want to like music. So if I can somehow change my mind about this album and enjoy it more, I will. But I don't think I'm going to. Just way too much solo action going on. Like, part of being in a band is sacrificing your ego to the band. Sacrifice your ego to the band. We don't need solos. Give us songs. There was a Changes. I'll take a Changes. I would love to hear another Changes. They played NU and I on this tour. I don't think I need to hear another NU and I. But I think that's been on every release so far. I think at this point, I think NU and I, Roundabout, and Yours Is No Disgrace are the 3 songs that have been released more than any others. And now, thanks to this release, Roundabout and not Yours Is No Disgrace, I've Seen All Good People. Yes, as of this release, Roundabout and Your Move All Good People have been on 7 releases. And You and I has only been on 6. So Roundabout and Your Move All Good People now take the lead with live versions that have been released the most as of 2011. The next video, I will update that list and share it with you. I didn't have that ready for this one, but next time I'll have it ready. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share. Go listen to this album and let me know why I should change my mind about it. Or go listen to The Word, the box set. The Word is Live box set. It's a fantastic box set. All right, that's all I got. Peace. Talk to you later.